Hi, this is Shim from Drunk Dorks, and today I'm going to be talking about Dead or Alive 5, last round to the PC. You may notice I'm not particularly good at it, considering I've only had it for a couple days and I haven't played one since the fourth game on Xbox 360, but it is what it is. As a tournament fighter goes, it's pretty damn good. Now, I've always preferred games like this or Soul Calibur to, say, Street Fighter 2. Well, that's the only one I really honestly play, the Street Fighter series, though, or Mortal Kombat, because I kind of don't like the idea of losing to a fireball in a game that's supposed to be about hand-to-hand combat. Smash Brothers obviously being the exception because it's very different than an actual like fighting game. But this is a really good game. You can play it. I mean, you can set it on easy, which I'm going to do because I suck at it. But you can put it on easy and button mash, or you can crank the difficulty up and really play it, with finesse, because there is a really complex system of interplay between moves and stuff that I'll get to a little bit later. As for the game otherwise, I mean, the controls are tight, the graphics are slick, backgrounds look good, the girls are gorgeous, the guys are ripped, everything just looks fantastic. But before I get to the really good stuff about the game, there's a lot of elephants in the room, and I'm going to talk about those first. First of all, the thing about Dead or Alive is the sexuality of the female characters is like ramped up to like 15. I mean, they don't kid at all about what this game is about, and this game is about boobs. Plain and simple. There is an option in the menu to change how they jiggle in combat. I'm not even kidding. And the settings were natural, DOA or none, and then last night I unlocked the OMG setting. I mean, it's absurd to the point that this game is kind of embarrassing to play, which sucks because it's a really good game. But I mean, you kind of just have to deal with it. Like I've said in things before, that sexy isn't necessarily sexist, but this game, it's going to be different to different people, but it's really fucking at or past the line. I can't even kid about that. And it even gets to the point where, like, if you lose playing a female character, they kind of like lay on the ground and like pant for what feels like an extended period of time. And yeah, it's, like I said, it's a little embarrassing to play, honestly, which does suck, because it's a fun game. This weirdness bleeds over into the DLC, though, which is also guilty of a much more heinous crime in my book, and that is that there's 4 DLC for this game that are basically just big costume packs, and they are, all of them, more expensive than the game itself. But the one that really takes the cake is called Private Paradise, and it's a bathing suit costume pack for the female characters that also is a gravure simulator. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Basically, they walk around, pose, and you can take pictures of them, and that's it. That's all it is, and it costs $65. I'm not even shitting you. Moving on to something less queasy, it's kind of a mystery as to why this game launched on PC the way it did. It is basically a port of the PS3 version with improved shadows, even though this game is available on PS4 and Xbox One with presumably slightly better graphics. Like I said, it still looks fantastic, but it's kind of a mystery why they did that. It also did not launch with online mode available, which in this day and age, that's kind of a death sentence to a fighting game, is not to have an online mode. Now, they said within 3 months of it being released, it's going to be patched in. It's only been about, I think, a month and a half, 2 months since it's out, so it's still too early to tell. But until that comes out, there's nothing to do, really, but fight and unlock costumes. I mean, there's several modes. There is just a regular arcade mode where you go through 8 rounds against different randomly picked characters. I even fought myself now and then. But there's also actually a story mode this time, which combines horrible voice acting with funny cutscenes. Some of them funny on purpose, and some of them unintentionally funny because they're just really over the top, or again, the voice acting is really bad. But it basically lets you play through a few rounds as every character, so you get a little introduction of everything, which is kind of a neat idea, because most of the time, at least as far as I know, games don't usually do that. But I don't play a lot of fighting games anymore, so maybe I'm wrong. So with the questionable decisions Team Ninja and Tecmo has done with this aside, as far as the game's play goes, it is really cool, and mostly that's because it's not just, you know, like I said, a button masher. There's a lot of finesse to it, and it utilizes a Janken or paper, scissors, rock relationship. There's basically three types of moves. There's guards, hits, and throws. And a guard can be countered by a throw fairly easily. A throw can be countered fairly easily just by hitting someone who's trying it. But a hit can be countered with a guard, which what you do is you press a direction to try and the guard button, and you try and do a hold, which interrupts the move and also causes damage to the person trying to hit you. It's pretty cool, and I'm really bad at it, but it gives you a basically something to do in every situation. Now the game is heavy on juggles, though. If you get caught in a combo, you're not going to be able to guard out of it very easily, if at all. And that's why where the finesse comes in is that you're not supposed to let that happen to yourself in the first place. Everything's very quick, and you have to get used to reading the other players, which means you have to fight against them a lot to know what their moves look like and which are like high, middle, or low, because how you guard is dependent on whether the move is high, middle, or low. That being said, when you do it right, it's awesome, and it makes the combat a lot smoother for you because getting hit is not fun. As far as characters go, there's a lot in this one, a lot of newcomers too. This one, over the previous version of DOA 5, added a new female named Noka and a new guy named Rido, who, if you're familiar with the lore at all, is, I believe, Ayane's dad. And except now he is a cybernetic zombie. So they're playing kind of crazy with that one. There's also, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this right, it's either Nyotangu or Neotangu, and she is in fact a Tengu and has giant black bird wings. She has some weird moves that involve flying and stuff, so that's getting a little bit out there as far as what you can do, but I just discovered Kasumi has a move where she basically teleports through you, so, I mean, there's no fireballs that I'm aware of, but it does get a little bit crazier than just straight up hand-to-hand combat. This game also actually lets you play as Alpha 152, which is Kasumi's clone, which is unsettling to say the least because of the noises it makes and some of the motions it makes, and considering that it's completely naked and just a glowing, like, green or red skin depending on which costume you pick. So again, that's a little weird. But anyway, you know, it is a really fun game, and we hopefully will have online pretty damn soon. So, if you're willing to spend the cash, check it out. Maybe I'll even play with you, and you can probably beat my ass, because you're probably better than me. So that's it. Have fun playing. Game on, guys.